Attorney Steve Sabra.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Attorney Steven Sabra. You're listening to Law Talk on 1480 WSAR. We do this show every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m., and it's your opportunity to call in with any law-related questions. And, of course, it could be anything that's on your mind that's law-related. Mostly what I do is serious personal injury cases, workers' compensation, and criminal defense. But on Tuesdays, it's whatever's on your mind that's law-related, which we're going to go to the phones. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me well?
I can.
Yes, I have a common law question. Possibly you can shed some light on it.
Okay.
Let's say, for instance, a residence that was purchased under one name, and the two people lived together for over 8-9 years. Potentially, when that house is to be sold and one person has paid all the bills, so what happens to the gross profit pertaining to that establishment?
Well, unless there's some other agreement, in general, the person who owns the property gets the proceeds. Now, there is something in the law by way of sort of equitable relief, and that is the person that paid all the bills might be able to make an argument that the money should be held in a constructive trust on a fairness, equitable basis, and that the person ought to be reimbursed for some of the money that they've expended. It's a problem when the people aren't married. You know, when the people are married, then it doesn't matter whose name the property is in. If there's a divorce, for example, then the judge has to consider that asset as that each party has a claim to that asset. Also, if there's an agreement, sometimes people actually write something up. Even though they're not married, they write something up. The house is in so-and-so's name. However, if it's sold, this is our agreement, and that's, I suppose, relatively easy, too, because it's in black and white. But it's a problem when, as you, in your set of facts, where the property's in one person's name, and someone else, the other party has expended significant funds to, I suppose, to maintain it, to fix a roof.
That's correct. Yes, mortgage, all the utilities, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it makes for a more difficult problem, and it's one of those cases where you would get legal counsel and you would review all the facts, and then you'd have to come up with a decision as far as whether or not it would be worthwhile to pursue it further, depending on the amount that it would cost for legal fees versus the amount that you're trying to recover. If you decide to go forward, then the question becomes, how do you do it? Do you file a complaint in the Superior Court, and then do you try to get some type of injunction to prevent the property from being sold, or some other type of temporary relief so that if the property's sold, the money is held? I mean, there's a lot of different...
We're talking in the excess of $125,000, so that's the reason why I was asking that question.
Well, it's a good question, and that involves a lot of money.
Correct.
And it's not an unusual question in today's day and age, because a lot of people don't get married, and but they live together, and then a lot of times you don't think about what's going to happen in the future, and you figure everything's going to be okay, and it's hard to put something in writing in anticipation of something going wrong. It
is doable. In the long run, it is something that is doable, and if you can, acquire the information pertaining to one-way payment from one person, possibly it is something that you go for.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Have a good afternoon.
All right, you too. Thanks for the call.
No.
The number to reach me at the office, 508-674-0890. We're just about at the end of time. The office is in Somerset at 1026 County Street in Somerset. However, on Tuesdays, I am here from 1 to 2 p.m. Again, my name is Attorney Stephen Sabra. You've been listening to Law Talk on 1480 WSAR.